¿Qué pasa, YouTube? AKA what's up, YouTube? Yes, this is me. My name is Leo, aka 6ftHax. He, him, or Papi, whichever you want to refer to me as. And we are back for a Wi-Fi Draft League, which I know it's been almost 2 years since my last Wi-Fi Draft League upload, and it's in a whole new generation. So this is a little bit surreal. I really didn't think I'd be a part of this, but I want to give a huge thanks to my very, very good friend Shuckle King 87, aka Joe. Without him, I would have not been able to be a part of this draft league, which he is the commissioner of. As you can see, this is the SPL, the Shuckle Premier League. We have an amazing roster, which everybody will be down in the description down below, and I think everybody else will be uploading their draft analysis on the day that this one goes up. So yeah, how have you guys been? It's kind of crazy. I honestly really don't know what to say. I didn't have anything planned out. I just know I don't want to make this entirely too long, because in the past I've had like 30-minute draft analysis, and now people's attention spans are a little bit shorter. So hopefully this will be within a decent amount of time range. I don't know. I'm just saying words that are coming to my brain at this point. But if you guys are excited for this, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, let me know how you've been, and after you see our draft, let me know what you think about our draft, because I'm really excited for this season. This is our return draft to Wi-Fi, so I'm always very critical about my drafts, so we'll see how it turns out here. If you don't want to subscribe, everybody is entitled to their incorrect opinions, so I will see you later on down the line. Now, with that being said, we have an amazing roster here of coaches for this first season of the SPL, and out of draft order, I of course got number 14 on our return to draft league. I ended up getting number 14, which I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit upset about, because I honestly didn't think I was gonna get anything really too good. We did ban a few good Pokemon, like Urshifu. I think both of them were banned. And Champao and Spectre, things like that were banned. So that was a little bit unfortunate. So I honestly didn't think I would get this first round pick, which you're going to see is going to be Tornadus Therian. Now, it did lose Defog and Toxic, but it still has very, very good bulk. We all know that Regenerator is an absolutely just broken ability in this format, and it still has an amazing move pool, can be offensive or defensive, and I just really love the versatility of Tornadus Therian. Plus, it was more or less the best mon at this point in the draft, so I was like, yeah, I definitely want this, and I really contemplated on what I wanted for my second pick. Now, for me being the last pick, I initially get a wheel pick, which means I get 2 picks back to back, while still trying to get between 10 and 12 Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. So I end the first round, but I start the next round every single time it gets to me. So that's not entirely too bad. It does help with building a little bit. So I was really stuck on what I wanted here, and there was one Pokemon I absolutely wanted 1000% to use in this draft league, and that is going to be Guerrero the Infernape. For those of you who do not know, Infernape is literally probably my top 3 all-time favorite Pokemon to use in draft league format. It got some cool new moves in Switcheroo, Aura Sphere, and Knockoff, which just adds to his offensive prowess. It can be offensively physical or offensively on the special side. Great Scarfer, Bandit, Spexmon, etc. I've also even used a defensive set before in a previous draft league, which actually ended up working out pretty well. So with our first 2 picks here, I was really, really excited to get this off to a good start. I got some good speed, some momentum. I do have Stealth Rocks on Infernape, which are great. So I wanted to fill out a couple roles with our next wheel pick here. And this next mon was another mon I kind of wanted to get this draft league. It wasn't really that high on my list, but initially looking at it, in theory, it looked absolutely amazing in this metagame. And that is going to be Joe, aka Mamoswine. We all know what Mamoswine does. This thing is an absolute monster with its physical attack stat. And between Earthquake, Icicle Crash, and Ice Shard. It basically just hits ridiculously hard. Also has some decent bulk, gives us another Stealth Rocker as well as our third knockoff Pokemon, because we all know knockoff is an absolutely phenomenal move to be able to get rid of your opponent's items. And it did get access to Trailblaze, which is really interesting because Mamoswine has never before had a way of boosting its speed, so this just kind of sold me more on wanting to get Mamoswine here. Plus, I didn't think it would last to round 5 if it did get back to me. So looking at round 4, this next mon was something I wasn't initially going to get, but Joe and Harris sold me on it, and that is going to be Screamtail, which is really cool because it has amazing bulk, as you can see with its HP and defensive stats. Not only that, it's super fast and gets access to a plethora of great support moves such as Thunder Wave, Encore, and I believe Wish and Baton Pass, which is really cool. I'm super excited to have this mon because this gives us our third Stealth Rocker and a very solid rocker, as well as potentially a great support mon and setup sweeper. So our next wheel picks here were mons that I knew I wanted to kind of just check off the certain types or just certain supporting moves that they gave to our draft. And this next pick is going to be Decidueye, which I was initially going to get regular Decidueye, not regular, sorry, Hisuian Decidueye, but Harris and Shuckle sold me on Hisuian, not Hisuian, on regular Decidueye, sorry. So I wanted Hisuian, I was sold on normal Decidueye though. So this is still pretty good. This gives me a Rapid Spinner because we have 3 great rockers, and I really do want to try and get spikes and or Tox Spikes with our next few picks here. This gives me a solid form of removal and defog, even though yes, I could just run heavy duty boots or be aggressive with my mons, but still having the defog option is really nice for our first 3 picks in Tornadus, Infernape, and Mamoswine. This also gives us a solid setup option with Nasty Plot and Swords Dance, plus Spirit Shackle is really cool for potential trapping options, which is nice. So speaking of spikes and toxic spikes, our next pick here is going to be Quagsire, which I absolutely love Quagsire. This is one of my favorite design Pokemon just because it's so derpy, and in this gen it got access to spikes, stealth rocks, and toxic spikes, which is ridiculous because it does have amazing abilities in water absorb and unaware, solid recovery in the form of recover, and this thing can just kind of tank hits and set in the front of offensive mons. Plus, sorry, it also did get access to toxic. Just normal toxic in general is really nice. So super excited to have Quagsire here as one of our options. So at this point, there were a few roles I still kind of needed to figure out and I wanted to fill, and one of those was definitely getting a solid steel type. Luckily, there were still some pretty good options here, and I decided to go with probably my top 2 favorite design Pokemon in Generation 9, and that is Tinkaton. Tinkaton is really awesome because not only is it a pretty bulky steel type, it's also really fast and can be an offensive threat because it does have access to Swords Dance, which is pretty cool, and nice supporting moves in Encore, Knockoff, Screens, and Thunder Wave. So yeah, this gives us yet another Stealth Rocker, so I don't have to worry about potentially running rocks on Infernape or Mamoswine, which would be absolutely amazing. So our next pick for this wheel pick was a mon I really wasn't initially looking at potentially getting, but Harris did kind of sell me on getting our next pick here, which funnily enough is not only the mascot of the YouTube channel, but also the Carolina Haxorus mascot, and that is Haxorus, aka 6'Haxorus, which funnily enough, Haxorus is actually 5'11", so I don't know, it's probably 5'11.5.9, but whatever it's then round up to for 6 feet. But yeah, this gives us a solid physically offensive threat, setup sweeper, even a potential scarfer. It did get access to scale shot, which is pretty nice, so definitely excited to have Haxorus here. Great abilities in Mold Breaker and Unnerve, as well as having pretty nice priority in first impression if I do ever want to bring it. So at this point, I needed to figure out what I wanted as my Terra Captains and what I wanted to try and finish filling a few roles like a ground, immunity, or resist, a dark type, and a ghost not ghost type, sorry, a dark type and a grounded poison. And our next pick here, which is going to be Braviary, actually kind of did fill a few of those roles. Gives me a ground immunity. This is our first Terra Captain, with us being able to pick between a stab if we're dual typed stab, and then just whatever 2 other types, which were ground and steel. So Braviary also gives us another form of hazard control because of Defiant. I can switch this into defogging Pokemon, which is amazing. And this also gives us a defogger, which helps us along with Decidueye if I don't feel comfortable in running a defog on Decidueye. So Braviary is a pretty nice physically offensive mon with some good supporting options and momentum in the form of U-turn as well. So really excited to try this mon now. And touching back on our poison and dark types, there is one very specific poison / dark type that I absolutely love. Some of you may know who it is if you've been with the channel for a while, and that is going to be Skuntank. Yes, Skuntank. I absolutely love Skuntank. It's such a great mon for roll compression. It did unfortunately lose defog, but it did get 2 pretty cool moves in knockoff and toxic spike, so it still is a pretty solid supportive mon. Nice speed, decent bulk. It does have priority and sucker punch as well, which is absolutely amazing. I almost wanted to Terra this, but looking at what I wanted to get with my last 6 points, I realized that our next pick was probably the better mon to Terra, and that is going to be our last pick and final pick in the form of Magneton. So Magneton is really cool because this gives me an option to trap steel types, maybe run something like Boots, Sturdy, or just even Analytic can hit ridiculously hard. And this is, again, our second Terra Captain with Electric, Grass, and Ground. So that's pretty cool. I don't think it got any new moves, so I don't really have too much to say about Magneton, but I just kind of like having that trapping aspect of it. So we'll see how it does for us this season. So yes, everybody, that is our draft, our returning draft for the Wi-Fi SPL Draft League. Make sure to check out the rest of the amazing roster. Again, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment, and let me know how you've been over this past year or so. My last upload was a little bit over a year ago, so I'm sure a lot of things have happened in y'all's lives. So please let me know, and let me know what you think about our draft in general. I will try to have an update before our week 1 match goes up live, so just be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, if you want to subscribe to follow us for the rest of the season, make sure to do so. It is free. If you don't want to do that, again, you can have your incorrect decision, and I will see you later down the line. So with that being said, I will see you all in a few days. If not, then definitely next week with our week 1 game. I'm excited. I really am. I didn't think I would be coming back to Wi-Fi this soon, really. So even though it's been like 2 years with just a lot of life stuff going on, and I'm excited. I really am. So with that being said, I will see you all very soon. So thank you for watching, everybody.